ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಪುರಾಣಾನಾಂ ಆಲಯಂ ಕರುಣಾಲಯಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದ ಶಂಕರಂ ಲೋಕಶಂಕರಂ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಯುವ ಸೌರಭ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಗಾರ್ಗಿ ಇನ್ವೊಕೇಶನ್ ಹಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೋರೋಣ. Gargi is a 11-year-old girl, student of Aditi International School. She is very passionate about music and has been training for Hindustani vocals under the able guidance of her guru, Pandit Sharan Gurjarji, since the age of 7. She is also learning piano, which she has been training from when she was a 4-year-old girl. And today, she will be rendering Namanakara Chatura in Rag Bhupali and Saraswati Vandana. Once again, a very hearty welcome to little Gargi. She is actually slated to perform for us sometime very soon. But today, as part of the invocation for the Yuva Saurabha program, we have Gargi. Over to Gargi.
चतुरा श्री गुरु चरणा नमनकर चतुरा श्री गुरु चरणा तन मन निर्मल करि भवतरणा नमनकर चतुरा श्री गुरु चरणा नमनकर चतुरा श्री चरणा जोई जोई द्यावत शुभ फल पावत जोई जोई द्यावत शुभ फल पावत जनन मरण दुःख सब निस्तरणा जनन मरण दुःख सब निस्तरणा नमन कर चतुर श्री गुरु चरणा नमन कर चतुर श्री गुरु चरणा गरे ग प द प ग प गरि सरि ग प गरे गरे ग प द प ग प गरि सरि ग प गरे गरे ग प द प ग प गरि सरि ग प गरे नमन कर चतुर श्री गुरु चरणा नमन कर चतुर श्री गुरु चरणा रे रे ग ग प ग प ग रे ग प ग रे द सा सा रे रे ग ग प ग प ग रे ग प ग रे द सा सा रे रे ग ग प ग प ग रे ग प ग रे नमन कर चतुर श्री गुरु चरणा प ग ग रे रे प ग प ग रे सा रे ग प ग रे प ग ग रे रे प ग प ग रे सा रे ग प ग रे प ग ग रे रे प ग प ग रे सा रे ग प ग रे नमन कर चतुर श्री गुरु चरणा रे ग ग सा रे रे ग प ग प ग रे ग प ग रे रे ग ग सा रे रे ग प ग प ग रे ग प ग रे रे ग ग सा रे रे ग प ग प ग रे ग प ग रे जोई जोई द्यावत शुभ फल पावत पद संध संध ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗೌರಿ ತನಯ ತ್ರಿಜಾಗ ವಂದಿತನೇ ಸುಜನರ ಪೋರೆವನೇ ತ್ರಿಜಾಗ ವಂದಿತನೇ ಸುಜನರ ಪೋರೆವನೇ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಪಾಶಾಂಕುಶಧರ ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಪಾಶಾಂಕುಶಧರ 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 ಪರಮ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಮೂಷಕವಾಹನ ಮುನಿ ಜನ ಪ್ರೇಮ ಮೂಷಕವಾಹನ ಮುನಿ ಜನ ಪ್ರೇಮ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಮೂದದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದವ ತೋರು ಮೂದದಿ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದವ ತೋರು ಸಾಧು ವಂದಿತನೇ ಆದರದಿಂದಲಿ ಸಾಧು ವಂದಿತನೇ ಆದರದಿಂದಲಿ ಸರಸಿ ಜನಾಭ ಶ್ರೀ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ನಿರಾತ್ರ ನೆನೆಯುವಂತೆ ನಿದಯ ಮಾಡೋ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗೌರಿ ತನಯ ತ್ರಿಜಾಗ ವಂದಿತನೇ ಸುಜನರ ಪೋರೆವನೇ ತ್ರಿಜಾಗ ವಂದಿತನೇ ಸುಜನರ ಪೋರೆವನೇ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಸಾನಿ 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 ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ನಿರೆ ಸಾನಿ ಪಗ ಪನಿ ಸಾ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಗಜವದನ ಬೇಡುವೆ सारे सारे गा रे 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 धा सा धा सा रे रे गा रे पा गा गा पा धा पा गा रे रे पा गा रे धा सा लकछभी सावरिया मोरी लकछभी सावरिया मोरी मोरी मधी भय बावरिये दया मोरी मधी भय बावरिये दया लक छवि सावरिया मोरी लक छवि सावरिया मोरी मोरी मधी भय बावरिये दया मोरी मधी भय बावरिये दया लक छवि सावरिया मोरी मोरा मुकुट पीतान परसोए मोरा मुकुट पीतान परसोए कुंडल जनकत कानन में कुंडल जनकत कानन में मोरी मधी भई बावरिये दया मोरी मधी भई बावरिये दया लक छवि सावरिया गरे ग प ध प ग प गरे सारे गरे सा रे रे ग गरे ग प ध प ग प गरे सारे गरे गरे ग प ध प ग प गरे सारे गरे गरे ग प ध प ग प गरे सारे गरे लक छवि सावरिया सारे ग प रे ग प ध ग प ध प रे ग सारे सारे ग प रे ग प ध ग प ध प रे ग सा लक छवि सावरिया सारे सागरे गरे प ग प ध ध प गरे सारे सागरे गरे प ग प ध ध प गरे सारे सागरे गरे प ग प ध ध प गरे लक छवि सावरिया ध प गरे प गरे सा ध सारे ग सारे ग प ध प गरे प गरे सा ध सारे ग सारे ग प ध प गरे प गरे सा ध सारे ग प मोरा मुकुट पीतान परसोए द सारे सा ध प प द सा द सारे सा ध सारे सा प द सा द सा द सारे सा द सारे सा प द सारे सा द प प द सा द सारे सा द सारे सा द प प द सा द सारे सा द सारे सा द प प द सा द सारे सा मोरा मुकुट पीतान परसोए ध द प द प प द प प सा द प द ध द प द प प द प प सा द प द ध द प द प प द प प सा द प द मोरा मुकुट पीतान परसोए मोरा मुकुट पीतान परसोए कुंडल जनकत कानन में कुंडल ಶಾರದಯೇ ಕರಗಳ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ಸರಸಿಜ ಭವಸತಿ ಸಾರಸ ನೇತ್ರೆ ಸರಸಿಜ ಭವಸತಿ ಸಾರಸ ನೇತ್ರೆ ಕರುಣದೆ ಕಾವುದು ಕೋಮಲ ಗಾತ್ರೆ ಕರುಣದೆ ಕಾವುದು ಕೋಮಲ ಗಾತ್ರೆ ಪರಮ ಮಂಗಲೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಪಾವನ ಚರಿತೆ ಪರಮ ಮಂಗಲೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಪಾವನ ಚರಿತೆ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ಶಾರದಯೇ ಕರಗಳ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ವರಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ದೇವಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಪೂಜಿಪೆ ವರಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ದೇವಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಪೂಜಿಪೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಪುಷ್ಪವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಬೇಗನೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಪುಷ್ಪವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಬೇಗನೆ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ವರವನು ಪಾಲಿಸು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ವರವನು ಪಾಲಿಸು ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ಬಲ ಬಾಲೆಯರ ಬಲ ಭಾಷೆಯನು ಬಲ ಬಾಲೆಯರ ಬಲ ಭಾಷೆಯನು ಆಲಿಸೆ ಪೊರೆವನು ಲೋಲ ಲೋಚನ ಆಲಿಸೆ ಪೊರೆವನು ಲೋಲ ಲೋಚನ ಕಲಶ ದೂರ ಶ್ರೀಕಾಮಿತ ದಾಯಿನಿ ಕಲುಷ ದೂರ ಶ್ರೀಕಾಮಿತ ದಾಯಿನಿ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ಶಾರದಯೇ ಕರಗಳ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ಶಾರದಯೇ ಕರಗಳ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು. ಶಾರದಯೇ ಕರಗಳ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಶಾರದಯೇ ಕರಗಳ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು ಬರದೆಂ ಹರುಷದಿ ಬೇಡುವೆವು.
Let us give a big round of applause to little Gargi,
Thank you.
who has given us today a very auspicious beginning for the YUVA SOURABHA program. You have a wonderful voice and the throw. किताब नहीं रखना लेकिन, ठीक है? किताब यहाँ पे होना चाहिए.
ठीक है.
And I would like to acknowledge the efforts of Gargi's parents and grandmother who are here. And I would like to also mention the seriousness with which they came prepared. I said, let Gargi sing an invocation today, and they also got with them the tabla vidwan, Shri Harish Gram Purohit ji. At this age, laya is a very important aspect of music, and to train with a tabla artist from now, from the formative years, is a very wonderful thing for a holistic appreciation of art and practice. And she already has a wonderful sense of laya. So, thank you, आप आए आज गार्गी के साथ. Thank you very much. And on behalf of Sringeri Shankara Mutt and SLN Trust, I would like to invite Srimati Saraswati and Shri Lakshmi Narasimhaji to offer a token of our best wishes to Gargi, and on the tabla to Shri Harish Gram Purohit ji. Thank you very much, Gargi, and wish you best of luck.
Thank you so much. Before I leave the stage, I'd like to thank you so much for having me here and giving me this opportunity to sing on this auspicious day.
Definitely, we are equally happy to have heard you.
I'm sure all the others will give a killer performance right now.
Yes. Thank you, Gargi.
Thank you so much, Miss.
I'm Rupa.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Rupa.
Thank you. You could take your Shruti, dear. ಶೃಂಗೇರಿ ಶಂಕರಮಠ ಮಲ್ಲೇಶ್ವರಂ ಹಾಗೂ SLN ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ನ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ನಾನಾ ಮಜಲುಗಳ ಒಂದು ಕುರಿತು ಯುವ ಕಲಾವಿದರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ನೀಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಧ್ಯೇಯೋದ್ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮ್ನಾಯ ಶೃಂಗೇರಿ ಶಾರದಾ ಪೀಠದ ಉಭಯ ಜಗದ್ಗುರುಗಳ ಒಂದು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಅಭಯ ಹಸ್ತವೇ ಕಾರಣ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೀತಾ ಜಯಂತಿ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಶರನ್ನವರಾತ್ರಿ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವದ ಅಂಗವಾಗಿ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಾಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಶ್ರೀರಾಮನವಮಿ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಾಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಶಿಬಿರ, ಹೀಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಾದಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ಜಗನ್ಮಾತೆ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಉಭಯ ಜಗದ್ಗುರುಗಳ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಾರ್ಥಕ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ತಂದುಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಯುವ ಸೌರಭ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಂಗವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಯುವಕರು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವೇದಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀ ಅಮರನಾರಾಯಣ ಶರ್ಮಾರವರು ಆಗಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ಕು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಅನುಪಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇದನ್ನು ಸಮಯದ ಒಂದು ಮಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸ್ತಾ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ಯುವ ಸೌರಭ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಂಗವಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆದಿಶಂಕರ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದಾಚಾರ್ಯರ ಮನೀಷಾ ಪಂಚಕಂ ಈ ವಿಚಾರ ಕುರಿತು ಕುಮಾರಿ ಶಾರದಾ ಕಳಲೆ ಅವರು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶಾರದಾ ಅವರು ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Sharada is pursuing her degree in law at National Law University, Delhi. ಶಾರದಾಳ ಪರಿಚಯ ನನಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ದಿನಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ವಿನೂತನವಾಗಿ ಶಾರದಾ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಈಸ್ ಶಾರದಾಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಗುಣ ಸ್ವರೂಪಳಾಗಿ ತೀತ್ವಾಲ್ ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಮಂದಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಯ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾಪನೆ ಜಗದ್ಗುರುಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಸನ್ನಿಧಾನಗಳವರ ಕರಕಮಲಗಳಿಂದ ನೆರವೇರಿತು. ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಶಾರದಾ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವಳ ಒಂದು ಈ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಲವು ಹಾಗೆ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವಳನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರವಚನ ಮಂದಿರಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆಸಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಜಗನ್ಮಾತೆ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಜಗದ್ಗುರುಗಳು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದಾ ಕಳಲೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರೋಣ. Okay, so she prefers standing, having the podium, and I leave the stage to Miss Sharada Kalale and wish you good luck, Sharada.
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. Good evening everyone. Before I begin, I must pray to the goddess of speech, wisdom and knowledge to be able to talk here. So, ब्रह्मस्वरूप परमा ज्योतिरूपा सनातनी सर्व विद्यादिदेवीया तस्यै वाण्यै नमो नमः. All right, so as all of you know, I am here to speak about Manisha Panchakam. But if I directly start with Manisha Panchakam, it will be like starting Shakespearean poetry without you people knowing ABCD. So I will start with the ABCD of Advaita Vedanta and then we'll get to Manisha Panchakam. So how many of you have heard of Advaita Vedanta? Just raise your hands so that I'll just have a fair idea. Okay, very little. So I know where to start. So Advaita. So what is Advaita? In Sanskrit, na Dvaita Advaita. So what is Dvaita? Dvaita means dual. So na Dvaita, not dual. So Advaita is non-dual, means not two, the one reality. That is Advaita. And this Advaita philosophy was given by Adi Shankaracharya in the 7th century. So Adi Shankara, the greatest philosopher of any time, forever. So when I say philosophy, what is the first word that comes to any layman's mind when you hear philosophy? God, right? So what is the God according to Advaita Vedanta? Or who is the God according to Advaita Vedanta? Adi Shankaracharya wrote many works. There is one of his works known as Brahma Jnanavali, and there is a verse in his Brahma Jnanavali which best captures his idea of Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is very vast. It's as deep as the ocean. What this verse gives us is actually a surface of that ocean, but still very important. In Hindi we say gagar mein sagar bharna, filling an entire ocean into a pot. That's what this verse does. So this verse goes like this: Brahma satyam jagan mithya jivo brahmaiva na paraha anena vedyam satshastram iti vedantadindimaham. All right, so let's understand this. We'll break it part by part. So the first part says Brahma Satyam. Satyam in Sanskrit or any Indian language means the truth. So Brahma Satyam. Brahma is the truth. So I think all of you have heard of Brahma. The Brahma you know is the Chaturmukha Brahma, the four-faced Brahma in the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. I am not talking about that Brahma. I am referring to Brahman referred in the Upanishads. So what is Brahman referred in the Upanishads? The best way to describe Brahman, or if you see in any Advaita text, the most appropriate description is Satchidanandaha. What is Satchidanandaha? The word Satchidanandaha comes from three words: Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat is truth, existence. Chit is consciousness or awareness. I want you to understand this Chit or consciousness very well, because if you don't understand what Brahman is, then you won't be able to understand anything else I say. So Chit is awareness or existence. If you want me to say it in other language, I know three others, so I will tell it in them because I really want you to understand this. In Kannada, if you say Chit would be Arivu. In Hindi, it would be Bodh. And English, of course, consciousness or awareness. So we have Sat, Chit, and then we have Ananda. What is Ananda? Ananda is bliss, happiness. So Brahman is Satchidananda. I want you to understand that Brahman is not someone who is experiencing bliss or who is conscious or something like that. Brahman is existence itself. Brahman is consciousness itself, is bliss itself. That is Brahman. But this is not enough, right? With just Satchidananda, are we able to understand Brahman? No. So let me go to some other attributes of Brahman. Brahman is Nitya, permanent or eternal, Niravadya, free from blemish, pure. And then Nirakara. Nirakara means formless. So if Brahman is formless and Brahman is truth, then what about all the other gods with form whom we worship? What about them? They are none other than Brahman visualized in various forms. So you might say, how? So I just began with a small shloka on Saraswati which said Brahma Swarupa Parama Jyoti Rupa Sanatani. Literally meaning the form of Brahman, that light, who she is eternal. So Brahman is Nirakara, Niravadya, Nitya. Then the other words is Sarva Gosmiham, all pervading, omniscient, Sarvagnya. So this Brahman is this one reality which the Advaita Vedanta talks about. So I hope all of you come to understand the first part, Brahma Satyam. I will move on to the next part. The next part is Jagat Mithya, literally translating to the world is false. World is false, as in Advaita Vedanta is saying all this you see around you, this podium, this stage, these chairs, all of this is false. Okay, how many of you disagree with Shankaracharya here? None of you. All of you are already enlightened. Or is it all of you are foolish? What is it? Okay, so Shankaracharya was not as lucky as me. When he said Jagat Mithya, other schools bombarded him with questions. They were like, how Jagat Mithya? So Adi Shankara debated with 6 to 8 schools of well-known schools, and there are around 31 schools, but okay, 8 schools of thought to prove that Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. He debated with the scholars of Nyaya philosophy, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, then even the Buddhist and Jaina traditions. He debated with all of them, and he proved this, that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. He did this in all 4 directions of the country. This was known as the Shankara Digvijayam, written by Madhavacharya, popularly known as Vidyaranyam. So you might say, okay, Shankaracharya debated, but still we can't believe Jagat Mithya. We can literally see you, the podium, the chair, everything. So how is Jagat Mithya? So Advaita Vedanta gives a very, very beautiful analogy for us to understand how Jagat is Mithya. This is known as the snake rope analogy, okay? So I want all of you to imagine here, you're walking on a very dark night, and then you come across a fallen rope on the road. But because of the darkness, you mistake it to be a snake. You mistake the rope to be a snake. Now you suddenly see a snake, and now you are scared. There is fear in you. And say if you are not an Indian, some other Asian country where probably snake is eaten, you would probably feel hungry as well. The point I am trying to make here is that by mistaking the rope to be a snake, the desires or the fear that is being arisen in you, that would not have arisen at all if you had recognized that it was a rope and it was not a snake. Just like how all of you are mistaking the rope to be a snake, you are mistaking the all-pervading Brahman to be this universe. So this is known as avidya in Sanskrit. Avidya means ignorance or nescience. Avidya. And the other word is adhyasa, the superimposition. The snake is superimposed on the rope. The rope did not become the snake. You mistook the rope to be a snake. Just like that, you are mistaking Brahman to be this world. But still, you might be like, still, how? How can Brahman be all this? Advaita Vedanta has another illustration. Advaita Vedanta is amazing. Too many illustrations and stories. So, all of you know how pots are made, right? Can you think of a pot? I'll give you a pot. Can you take that pot apart from the clay it is made of? Can a pot exist apart from the clay? No? Or is the pot mud example very archaic for city people? Let me think of something else. Okay, all of you are in Karnataka. All of you know Sakre Achu. Yes? All of you must know. So this Sakre Achu, you see it in all shapes. It comes in the form of mantapa, the small bird or a horse. Is there really a horse, bird or mantapa? No. What is it? It is just sugar. Just like that, all this chair, whatever you are seeing around you, is Brahman. That's how Jagat Mithya. So all of you understand Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya? No. Yes, I hope so. Next, we'll move on to the next part of Advaita Vedanta. The next part, it says, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Jiva means self. Brahma is the one reality we are talking about. So it says, the self is not apart from Brahman. Literally saying, you and me are none other than Brahman. I think you can read it here. I saw it. It says, Aham Brahmasmi. The four Mahavakyas capture this very well. Prajnaham Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma. This self is nothing but Brahman. Tattvamasi, that thou art. And by that we refer to Brahman. Now you will be like, you just said Brahman is all pervading and all powerful, all knowing everywhere. How am I Brahman? So that is because you are not referring to your real self. You are referring to this composition of this body and mind. Okay, I want all of you to think of it, okay? You don't say, I am the body, I am the mind. You say, the body is mine, the mind is mine. My mind did that. So then who are you? Think about it. And Advaita Vedanta says, your true self is none other than this pure consciousness, this Satchidananda Rupa Brahman. See, once when Adi Shankara went to his guru, Govindapada asked him, who are you? And that time he composed the Nirvana Shatakam, and he says, Mano Buddhya Hankara Chittani Naham. I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. Nacha Shotra Jivhe, Nacha Grana Netra. He was referring to the sense organs of perception to show that no, I am not the body. And then he finally says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham. All right. But still, understanding this Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, it might be still difficult to get it. I mean, it's easier to listen, but really to understand it. So there was this very beautiful story I heard in the lecture of Swami Sarvapriyananda. He almost mentions it in most of his lectures. A monk in the Himalayas told him this story, which best illustrates what the Advaita Vedanta is saying. So that is something I'm definitely going to share. So the story goes like this. So there is King Janaka, and he was sleeping, and then he's suddenly awoken by his sentry, and he said, the neighboring king has attacked us, we are at battle. Janaka gets ready, he takes his arrows, bows, takes his army, and he goes to the battle. Unfortunately, Janaka loses the battle. So the other king who has won the battle says, you are of royal blood, I won't kill you, but I banish you from this kingdom. You should be out by the sunrise the next day. Janaka is filled with the humiliation of loss. He starts walking away from his kingdom. He's been walking. It's 2 days. He hasn't got anything to eat. People are scared to feed him because of the other king's fear. Finally, he walks out of his kingdom, and he reaches this village where they're feeding the poor. He goes and stands in the line, but by the time his turn comes, there's very few crumbs left to give him. He says, whatever is left, please give me. I am really tired. So he takes whatever is left over. He's taken in a bowl and is going. An eagle comes down and knocks off that bowl. Janaka is exhausted, he collapses. Suddenly, he wakes up. If it would have been me or you, we would be like, what a nightmare, thank God. But Janaka was a very wise king. He says, is this true or that true? His God doesn't understand him, but the only thing Janaka is saying is this true or is that true? He calls the queen, and again, the only thing he tells the queen is this true or is that true? So the word spreads in the kingdom that the king is probably going mad. This is all he is saying. Is this true or is that true? So a great sage Ashtavakra, would have actually visited the kingdom, and sage Ashtavakra actually hears about this. So sage Ashtavakra comes to meet King Janaka. So again, when Ashtavakra asks King Janaka, how are you? Janaka asks the same question. Is this true or is that true? So Ashtavakra asks Janaka. He asks, okay, when you were there with that bowl of crumbs and the humiliation of your lost battle and the eagle, was this palace your queen or I there? Janaka says, no. Then Ashtavakra asks, right now, is that humiliation of loss, that village, that bowl of crumbs, that eagle, are they there now? Janaka says no. Then Ashtavakra asks, okay, but were you there experiencing this humiliation of loss? Janaka says yes. And then again Ashtavakra asks, are you here right now experiencing this palace, your guards and me? Janaka says yes. So sage Ashtavakra says, neither that is true, neither this is true, you are the truth. I hope with this story you sort of get what I've been trying to convey. Yes, hopefully. Great. I think now all of you are ready to try to understand Manisha Panchakam. So yeah, I'm going to start with Manisha Panchakam. Give me 2 minutes. All right. So Manisha Panchakam. So Manisha Panchakam also has a story. Again, Advaita Vedanta is filled with amazing stories and illustrations. So Adi Shankaracharya was in Kashi, and he was walking when he comes across a Chandala. A Chandala is a person who is responsible for cremation of the dead. Traditionally, that was their occupation. So how would a Chandala generally be dressed? Generally dirty, dressed in animal flesh. Adi Shankara sees him and he says, Gacha, Gacha. Gacha in Sanskrit means go away. So this Chandala is no ordinary Chandala. Yes, I have broken the suspense. It's no ordinary Chandala. It is Kashi Vishwanatha himself. So anyone who knows the truth of Brahman is none other than God. And so the Chandala who knew the truth is none other than the God. And the local god of Kashi is Kashi Vishwanatha. So it is none other than Kashi Vishwanatha. So when Adi Shankara says, Gacha, Gacha, the Chandala asks, Annamayat Annamayam Athava Chaitanyameva Chaitanyat Dvijavara Duri Kartum Vanchasi Kim Bruhi Gacha Gacheti. Translation: do you want a body of food to move away from another body of food? Or do you want the pure consciousness to move away from pure consciousness when there is just one pure consciousness? He doesn't stop, okay? God Vishnuvatha is having some fun. He decides to roast Adi Shankara. He further says, Kim Gangambuni Bimbitem Baramanau Chandalavati Payaha. Is the reflection of the sun in the purest holy Ganges any different from the reflection of the sun in the stagnant water of the quarters of a slum dwellers? Pure chantaramasti kanchana ghate mrutkum bhayor vambare. Is there any difference in the space inside a golden vessel and a mud pot? Pratyag vastuni nistaranga sahajanandava bodham budhav viproyam shwapachoyam ityapi mahan koyam Vedabrahma. When there is one ripple-free ocean of bliss which is pure consciousness, what is this Brahma? Brahma means illusion. what is this illusion that you have that you are a Vipra? Vipra is Brahmana and that I am a Chandala. And Shankaracharya immediately realizes his mistake, and in response to that, he writes the Manisha Panchakam. So yes, we are finally going to start Manisha Panchakam. So it starts, Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvidujrumbate. Jagrat, while we are awake. Swapna, while we are sleeping. Sushuptishu, Swapna is while we are dreaming, and Sushupti is when we are sleeping. That consciousness, conscious principle that is shining when we are awake, asleep, and when we are dreaming. Think of the story of Janaka. It is there either when he is dreaming, either when he is awake, and even in deep sleep. So, Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Sputatara Yasam Vidujrumbate. That conscious principle that is shining in all three states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini. That which is all pervading. The highest being to the lowest. Pipilika literally in Sanskrit means ant. So he says Brahman is all pervading. He's pervading the highest being to something as simple as the ant. Saivaham nacha drushya vastviti. I am that. Saivaha means I am that. Nacha drushya vastviti. I am not an object of perception. See, this is very important to understand. People think God is something for you to see. God is not an object of perception. It is the subject itself. It is you. Nacha drushya vastviti drudha pragyapi yasyasti chet. Who has a firm conviction in the mind that this is the truth. Chandalostu satudvijostu gururityesha manisha mama. Chandala, he may be a Chandala, he may be a Brahmana, he is my Guru. I want all of you to understand that when we call someone Guru, that is the most revered and the highest position we can give to anybody in our life. And Adi Shankara calls him his Guru and he bows down to him. Not just bow down, in Kannada we say Dirgha Dhanda Namaskara, or in Hindi Dandavat Pranam. Okay, so okay, now I'm going to divert a little from the Advaita Vedanta, and this diversion is very necessary. There's a reason I chose Manisha Panchakam. Currently and for the past many years, you have a whole group of intellectuals saying that our culture, our scriptures are caste discriminatory. I even had a professor who said he said Sanatana Dharma is racist also. So this Manisha Panchakam is a reply to everyone who are reading, their own translations, who don't know Sanskrit, giving their own interpretations, or who have not even read our texts and believing that texts are sanctioning discriminatory practices. So, yes, Adi Shankara said, there is no difference between me and you. He tells us Adi Shankara was a born Brahmana and the Chandala born Chandala. He says, we are not what we are by birth. If anyone who knows the truth, that the truth of Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, he is none other than my Guru, he is my God. Right. So coming back to Manisha Panchakam, we'll move on to the next stanza. Brahmaivahamidam jagatcha sakalam chinmatra vistaritam. Brahmaivahamidam, this entire world is nothing but Brahman, Chinmatra Vistaritam, which is spread all around us. Think of it like this, okay? I'm not sure if you're able to grasp what I'm trying to say. Think of this. Think you are dreaming and you are walking in a forest and a tiger attacks you. Now think from the waking perspective. Aren't you the forest, the tiger, and the person walking in the forest itself? Just like how your dream is the projection of the mind, this universe is a projection of consciousness, a projection of Brahman, an appearance in Brahman. Alright. Brahmaivahamidam jagatcha sakalam chinmatra vistaritam sarvam chaitada vidyaya trigunaya shesham maya kalpitam. Sarvam chaitada vidyaya, avidyaya. Why are we seeing this world? Because of avidya, nescience. Just like how we are seeing the snake as the rope, that's why we are seeing this world. Sarvam chaitada vidyaya trigunaya shesham maya kalpitam. Maya kalpitam is seen by me. It's appearing in me, or I'm visualizing it. Kalpitam literally means imagine. And it says trigunaya shesham. So, this is not, okay, those who don't know Triguna means three qualities known as the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Just see around you, okay, in your universe. You will find people who are very calm, peaceful. So such attributes are referred to as the Sattva Guna, and then you'll see people who are very, very passionate, who always want to do something, who are highly egoistic. That is like a Rajas Guna. And then you even find extremely angry people, depressive people. That is Tamas. So it's saying this universe composed of these three qualities is an appearance in Brahman. Sarvam chaitada vidyaya trigunaya shesham maya kalvitam itham yasya drudhamatis sukatare nitye pare nirmale. Whose mind is dwelling in this truth of this ocean of bliss. Sukatare nitye pare nirmale. Sukatare, blissful. Nitye, eternal, permanent. Sukatare, nitye, pare, beyond everything. Pare, nirmale is pure. Chandalostu satudvijostu gururityesha manisha mamam. He may be a Chandala, he may be a Brahmana, he is my Guru. Alright. So okay, Manisha Panchakam. Panchakam means 5, so there are 5 stanzas. So I'm moving on to the third. Shashvan Nashvarameva Vishvam Akhilam Nishchitya Vacha Guru. Nishchitya Vacha Guru, from learning from the Guru, and we've come to the firm decision that what have you come to the firm decision of? Shashvan Nashvarameva. Nashvara in Sanskrit means perishable, destroyable. That this world is destroyable. Shashvan Nashvarameva Vishvam Akhilam. You know, Adi Shankara in his Bhaja Govindam, he says, Ma kuru dhana jana yavvana garvam harati nimesha kalat sarvam. Don't take pride in this false, perishable world. Ma kuru dhana jana yavvana. In money, in social capital, or in yavvana, in your youth. Don't take pride in all these. Why? Time spares none. Harati nimesha kalat sarvam. That's why. Shashvan Nashvarameva Vishvam Akhilam Nishchitya Vacha Guru. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushata Nirvyaja Shantatmana. So Nityam is always, constantly. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram is constantly. Nityam is an attribute of Brahman, the eternal, permanent. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushata Nirvyaja Shantatmana. Shantatmana is in a peaceful mind who contemplates on this Brahman. Bhutam Bhavicha Dushkrutam Pradahata Sanvinmaye Pavake. Shankaracharya puts it so poetically. He says, he burns his sins of the past and the future in the flame of knowledge. Bhutam Bhavicha Dushkrutam Pradahata Sanvinmaye Pavake. Prarabdhaya samarpitam swavapuhu gururityesha manisha mamam. So he says prarabdhaya samarpitam. What is prarabdha? If you see in Sanatana Dharma, prarabdha refers to the result of your deeds, of your karma. Basically saying, leave your body to fate. Once you know that you are not this body, leave it to fate. Think of it like this, okay? Again, the same example. You're dreaming and you're walking in the forest and a tiger attacks you. Once you wake up, does it really matter if you died in your dream or if you're attacked in your dream? No. Just like that, leave this body to fate because this body is not the truth. Alright. Then Adi Shankara writes, Yatiryan naradevataadibhi ahamityantas putha grihyate yadbhasa hridayaksha deha vishaya bhanti svato chetanaha. That Brahman is what that is experienced as the I, in not just human beings. He says among animals, among human beings. He even says devata, among celestial beings. That which is experienced as the I in them, yadbhasa hridayaksha deha vishaya, from which your mind, your body and your senses are illuminated. Now think of this like this, okay? All of you, just close your eyes, shut down all your senses. Like, don't listen to anything. Even if you do that, you are still there. Now imagine you are not there. Even if you have all this body, senses, mind, will it work? Will it function? No. That's what Adi Shankara is saying. You are able to function because of this consciousness, because you are this consciousness. Yadbhasa hridayaksha deha vishaya bhanti svato chetanaha tam bhasyaihi pihitarka mandala nibham spurtim sada bhaven. Again, one more illustration example. Adi Shankara says, okay, think of this. In the sky, all of you see clouds, right? Why are you able to see the cloud? Because the cloud is illuminated by the sun. But the same cloud covers the sun. You have seen clouds covering the sun? Just like that, how the clouds which is illuminated by the sun conceals the sun itself, this body and mind which is illuminated by this consciousness is concealed by this body and mind. So, tam bhasyai pihitarkamandali nibham spurtim sada bhavayan yogi nivruta manaso hi kuruhu gururityesha manisha mama. The yogi who knows this truth, he is my guru. Okay, now we come to the fifth stanza of Manisha Panchakam. Yat saukhyam buddhi lesha lesha taime shakradayo nivrutaham. That ocean of bliss or happiness is so vast that even a very small amount of it is enough to satisfy Shakra. Shakra is referred to Indra. Indra is believed to be the god of heaven and god of war and god of many gods. So he says even a very small fraction of it is enough to satisfy Indra. Yat saukhyam buddhi lesha lesha taime shakradayo nivrutam. Yat chitte nitaram prashanta kalane labdva munir nivrutaha. The sage who has realized this is meditating on this blissful nature. Yasmin nitya sukhambudau galitadihi sa brahmaiva na brahmavit. Okay, so Shankaracharya says something very important here. He says, Yasmin nitya sukhambudau galitadihi. Galita in Sanskrit means dissolved. Whose nature is dissolved in this one truth, Brahman. He is not Brahmavit, na Brahmavit. He is not a knower of Brahman. Sa brahmaiva. He is Brahman himself. It is Brahman itself. So he says, Yasmin nitya sukham budau galitadhi brahmai sa brahmaiva na brahmavit. Yakaschit sa surendra vandita padam. He is the one who needs to be worshipped by the God of gods. He needs to be worshipped surendra vandita padam, by the God of gods. Noonam manisha mama. This is my firm conviction, intellectual decision that I say. That is what Manisha Mama means. Iti Shri Shankara Bhagavatpadacharya Virachitam Manisha Panchakam Sampurnam. With this, we have ended the Manisha Panchakam. I think I still have some 5-10 minutes, so I'll just talk. So, all those who haven't, who really are interested, who found this interesting, who want to read more on the Advaita Vedanta, you can start, I started with there's a library in Shankar Mutt. I used to go to the Shankar Mutt in Baswangudi. There's a library where you can go buy books on the Advaita Vedanta. They're really interesting. There are so many lectures on YouTube you'll find across by learned gurus. You have, and if you want, if you don't want it in, say, a colloquial language like Kannada or Hindi, you want it in English, I think you have Chinmaya Mission and even Ramakrishna Mission and many schools, many people who believe in this Advaita philosophy, who give you great works, great lectures, if you want to start on this. And yes, I mean, youngsters, yeah, you should think about this. And old people, if you haven't started, you're already late. Okay, and okay, one more disclaimer before I go. I don't want anybody walking out of this room thinking, I am God, I am Brahman, and all this is an appearance, so let whatever happen in the world, I don't care because this world is Maya. No. When you realize it, okay, yes, you are free from all this. Until you realize this, you need to follow dharma, and you can follow bhakti yoga, karma yoga, the right path, until you realize through gnana yoga, until you realize the truth. You need to do what is right. You can't just say, world, jagat mithya, let, I don't know, some terrorist attack happen, some theft happen, I don't care, world is Maya. I didn't teach this, please. I want you to know that until you realize this, you are supposed to follow dharma, and you need to be altruistic. Altruistic is niswartha bhava, selfless. And the main thing, if you really want to see the truth, enlightenment is for all of us. If you really need to see the truth, renounce these worldly material pleasures. Believe me, trust me, they have nothing in them. Give up these material pleasures, and then you will see the truth. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಾः. Thank you so much, Rupa aunty, for giving me this opportunity. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಾः.
ಶಾರದಾ ಕಳಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು. Sharada did check with me about the age of the audience. She took it for granted it was all youngsters. But yes, Sharada, just for your information, here we have a very good gathering being Shankar Matha. ಹಲವಾರು ಜನರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಸಾಧನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ರುಚಿ ಇರೋವಂಥವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಉತ್ಸಾಹದಾಯಕವಾದಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈಗಿನ ಯುವ ಜನಾಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅದ್ವೈತದ ಒಂದು ಹಿರಿಮೆ ಗರಿಮೆ ಇಷ್ಟರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಸುದೃಢವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯಾರೂ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಅದ್ವೈತ ಈಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ಲೆಸ್. ಆದಿಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಎಗೇನ್ ಶೋಡ್ ದ ಪಾತ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ವರ್ ಅದರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಮತಗಳು ತಾಂಡವವಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಸಾಂಬ ಸದಾಶಿವರ ಒಂದು ಅವತಾರ ಪುರುಷರಾಗಿ ಬಂದು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾಯಿತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಈ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ. Sharada is pursuing her law at National Law University, and the flair with which Sharada spoke today is testimony to her conviction and her journey, which I certainly like to applaud once again. ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಜಗನ್ಮಾತೆ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಯ ಅನುಗ್ರಹವಾಗಲಿ, ಜಗದ್ಗುರುಗಳ ಒಂದು ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿ ಅವಳ ಒಂದು ಈ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ನದಿಯ ಹರಿವಿನಂತೆ ಮುಂದುವರೆದು ನಾಳೆಯ ದಿನ ಅವಳು ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಯುವಕರಿಗೆ, ಜನರಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಬೋಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ದೊರೆಯಲಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಂಡು, ವೇದಬ್ರಹ್ಮಶ್ರೀ ಅಮರನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಶರ್ಮಾರವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳು, ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶಕರು, ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಶಿಷ್ಯರನ್ನು ಅವರು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಸ್ತತೆಯ ಮಧ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರೆಗೆ ಓಗೊಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಭಿಮಾನದ ಒಂದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಭಾವನೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇದೆ. ಅವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ, ಅವರು ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಶಾರದಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆಶೀರ್ವಚನವನ್ನು ನೀಡಬೇಕು, ಅವಳಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವರ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹಂಚ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಗುರುಗಳೇ.
ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಪ್ರಣವಾರ್ಥಾಯ ಶುದ್ಧಜ್ಞಾನೈಕರೂಪಿಣೇ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾಯ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತಾಯ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಯೇ ನಮಃ. ಶ್ರೀಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಯೋऽन्तಃ ಪ್ರವಿಶ್ಯ ಮಮ ವಾಚಮಿಮಾಂ ಪ್ರಸುಪ್ತಾಂ ಸಂಜೀವಯತ್ಯಖಿಲಶಕ್ತಿಧರಸ್ವಧಾಮ್ನಾ ಅನ್ಯಾಂಶ್ಚ ಹಸ್ತಚರಣಶ್ರವಣತ್ವಗಾದೀನ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾನ್ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ಪುರುಷಾಯ ತುಭ್ಯಂ. ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಬೋದಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ವಿಶ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾದರಿಂಗ್. It was really a mesmerizing performance by Kumari Sharada. It was very good. This place actually housed Vedabrahma Shri Yajnanarayan Shastri. He was here for almost 2 to 4 decades, if I am right. I may be corrected. Wherein every day there was a lecture on philosophy as well as on the Vedas. So this is a place where we had tuting of Vedas, Karma Kanda also, Upasana Kanda by means of Upanishads also, and the Jnana Kanda, the knowledge portion of the Vedas also. So here, whoever have come here, they are well read, well acquainted in the Shastras as well as the various sciences also. If I can find some of the heads, they are very old. They have seen how my guru also, Vedabrahma Shri Yajnanarayan Shastri, was handling the proceedings here. Subsequently, after this renovation and etc., there have been many programs. And this is one couple whom I can never deny, Shrikant and Rupa, who have been doing a wonderful job here with respect to conducting not only classes, but also inculcating the discipline of our sciences. And coming to Manisha Panchakam, It is a beautiful shloka. You can go on for years with only one shloka. Madam was telling last week we had almost 7 days a lecture on Manisha Panchakam. But Manisha Panchakam is so golden. With only one shloka, you can spend your entire life. Because Shankara never wastes words. Adi Shankara is one saint or one philosopher who never minces words. And not only it is the question of mincing of words, it's the question of the vocabulary also, the rendition. This Manisha Panchakam can be rendered beautifully, can be used for performance, can be used for oratory. Similarly, it can be used for anusandhanam also. This is one group of stanzas wherein you start with Chandalostu Satudvijostu Gururityesha Manisha Mama, and you end with Yasyaivam in Yatsaukyam Bhudilesha Leshatayime Shakradayo Nivrutaha Yachchitte Nitaram Prashanta Kalane Labdhva Munir Nirvrutaha Yasmin Nitya Sukam Bhudau Galita Dhihi Brahmaiva Na Brahmavita Yah Kaschit Sa Surendra Vandita Pado Nunam Manisha Mama. It starts with assuming a guru and ends with a guru. When you start in the first stanza, you are comparing. He could be a Chandala, he could be a Vipra. I am not worried about that. If that person is very well conversant with the Advaita thought, he is my guru. And when you end it, whoever is having that thought is my guru. He doesn't compare about Chandala and others. The second point to be noticed in this Manisha Panchaka is the steps, stages. How do you start a Upasana? When you start a Upasana, you have various stages. This is also told in Mandukya Upanishad. Na antah prajnam, na bahish prajnam. No bhyatah prajnam, na prajnanaganam, na prajnam, na prajnam. Adrushtam avyavaharyam, agrahyam alakshanam, achintyam avyapadeshyam, prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante, sa atma savigneyaha. What is that thing which has to be pondered over? So here in the Mandukya Upanishad, it is not told by Shankara. It has come from ages. That this is Atman, which has to be pondered upon, meditated upon, or conversant upon. Sa Atma, sa Vigneyaha. So this is one thing which we have to acquire, which we have to seek reasoning. Nantah prajnam. He is not the knowledge within us. Na bahish prajnam. Nor is he the object which we are seeing in front of us. No bhayatah prajnam. No, he is not bheda bheda. It is not a concept which is one within ourselves and one outside. No. No bhayatah prajnam. Na prajnana ghanam. He is not prajnana ghana also. So then what is he? Adrushtam. He cannot be seen. Avyavaharyam. You cannot have a business with him. There are many instances where we don't see a person but we have business with him. Particularly after the advent of COVID. We are more professional in that. We don't see the people but we have a lot of business with such entities. So, adrushtam avyavaharyam. Agrahyam. You cannot comprehend it. Alakshanam. So, you cannot define it. Achintyam, you cannot meditate on it. Avyapadeshyam, so he is not a mantra. To somebody initiates, there is a process called as an initiation. A initiates it to be no. Avyapadeshyam. Prapanchopashamam, but he is capable of maintaining peace in the world. Shantam, he is the product, he is the peace himself. Shivam, everlasting, Advaitim, without a second. Chaturtham Manyante. So he is not among the Avastha Trayas also. He is neither Jagrat, he is neither Swapna, nor Sushupti. He is beyond this. Chaturtham Manyante. So whom the sages call as Chaturtha. Yani he is the form of bliss, Samadhi. Sa Atma. So he is the Atman, the supreme consciousness. Savigneyaha. He is the concept on which every one of us have to ponder upon, meditate upon. Is it something which we cannot achieve? Never. That is Adi Shankara. We are with it always. Whether you are in Jagrat, whether you are in Swapna, whether you are in Sushupti, you are always with it. What is the proof? What is the proof that you are with the same component in Sushupti? When you come out of a deep sleep, your energy is doubled and tripled. Now, where is that energy coming from? If you are talking about a component which is not existing, which cannot be seen, and all such definitions, which are always of the form of negations, he is neither this nor that, neither this nor that, then what is it? So, it is a component where you don't have the ego within you. Adi Shankara tells it in his Bhashya also that when we talk about the Antahkarana Chatushtaya, Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara and Chitta, he replaces Ahankara by Vijnana. And it is not by oversight, intentional. He means it is as Vijnana because you just name a creature which is not always perceiving. You name a plant which is not always working. We talk about photosynthesis. How is photosynthesis achieved? By awareness. Can you have a plant which is not aware? Can you have a creature which is not aware? It's just impossible. So that awareness is the most important concept. Jnana devatu kaivalyam stems from that statement. It is this jnana which is classified as Atman. So that is why we have Ayam Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi and Prajnanam Brahma, where Brahma is the ultimate source of knowledge. And what is that knowledge? It is not a knowledge about a book. It is not a knowledge about a creature. It is not a knowledge about the world around us. No. It is the knowledge about awareness. We are always aware. So this is the basic product of Advaita, where you have a locus. You give a definition to the Atman as expounded in the Upanishads. That has been very well brought out in Manisha Panchakam, where you start as an adventure. From the adventure, you go to the next portion where you have an application. In the first stanza, you have an adventure. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushuptishu, Sphutatara, Ya Samvita, Ujrumbhate. Ujrumbhate. Jrumbhanam means what? We generally slip into a deep toxic sleep. Ujrumbhate. You are brought out of it. And what is that which is bringing you out of this? Samvita. Ya Samvita. So that is the beauty of this Manisha Panchaka. I think I have 5 minutes more. In the second stanza, it is an application. You are not seeing outside. You are seeing within yourself. Brahmai vahamidam. Jagatcha sakalam chinmatra vistaritam. Just imagine a world without the mind. How are you perceiving the entire world? How are you perceiving the dreams? How are you realizing the dreams? Can you have a dream without a mind? We all see. We have a screen, etc. There is a light. Without a projector, nothing can be, no film can be portrayed. No, what happens in our dreams? Who is the person who is giving the ray of light? Who is giving you the reels? Who is projecting the film? Everything is happening from the mind. And how is the mind capable of doing it? It is capable of doing it because it is associated with awareness, which is there in the Chaitanya. So this Chaitanya is uniform in Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti. Once you go into deep sleep, whenever you are in the awakened state or in dream state, you are losing yourself. You are tired. If you work for 8 hours, can anybody tell that he is not tired? If somebody is dreaming, can he tell that he is not tired? Everybody gets tired once he is into Jagrat and Swapna. After Sushupti, can somebody tell that he is not refreshing? It is a totally opposite form of experience. Sleep is an extremely different form of experience. Now, where is this coming from? It is not coming from outside. It is coming from within ourselves. So, where is it coming from? It is coming from our consistent association with the Atman. So, Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti are all Vyavaharas. In the second stanza, you are into Brahmaivahamidam, application. Then, implementation. Whatever you see outside, Shashvata Nashvarameva. Whatever we see outside, whether it is the world, the creatures, the plants, everything they are perishing. We don't have a world which is similar to what it was yesterday, nor what can we imagine what will it happen tomorrow. So this is the state of the world. So Shashvata Nashvarameva. Then what about all this world? Ya tiryak nara devatabihi ahamiti antasputang grahyate. So all this are reflected because you have the consciousness within you. And you are with that consciousness every day. Yat saukhyam bhudi lesha leshata ime. The Indra and the other devatas, they are still called as Indra. Why don't you call them as Parabrahman? You have a devata called as Vishnu. You have a devata called as Shiva. Why do you have so many devatas? Because they are yet to cross the border of supreme consciousness. Bharatanatyam Upanishad tells, we have an identity. Where does that identity come from? It comes from karma. Nama, Rupa, Karma. So, whom do you call as Brahman? If it is Chaturmukha Brahman, a person who creates is called as Brahman. A person who sustains, he is also a Jiva. Vishnu also suffers during dissolution because everyone gets dissolved in the Atman. Atiti Atma, that is the definition of Atma by Parishesha Nyaya. What happens after you divide everything? The only person who stays in this universe after everything dissolves is Atman. So automatically he has to be there even at the time of creation, sustenance, dissolution and all other activities. You cannot have this person only at that time of dissolution. It's not possible. Because of this division, you are dividing, say 1 by 3. So you add a decimal 0, 3 3s are 9, 1.3333 continues. In 1 by 3, where is 3? It is always there. You cannot have a state where this 3 is not there. So similarly here, this Atman is one component who has to be derived. He cannot be seen. He cannot be comprehended. He can only be realized. So that is the beauty of Manisha Panchaka, where in the last he tells very clearly, whoever it is, whether it is Indra, whether it is Brahma, whether it is a Muni, all of them are behind Atman only. So it is only the Atman which is everlasting. There is no other component other than Atman which can sustain all this. That is the stages which is shown in Manisha Panchakam. So this is a beauty. For her age, I think it was a very big subject. But still she has tried to do justice to the subject. The only problem here is, whenever we speak, we shouldn't assume that the audience are only LKG, UKG and all such thing. They could be LKG. See, I had a wonderful professor with me, Mr. M.V. Satyanarayan Rao, who I should remember. He was teaching me multi-vibrators, monostable, bistable, astable, multi-vibrators which we have in electronics. It is all about transistors. Other than transistor, there is no other component in multi-vibrator theory. What is the functioning of the multi-vibrator? It acts like a switch. It transcends between cutoff and saturation. And now this cutoff region and saturation region doesn't come from the multi-vibrator. It comes from the transistor. So it is a product of semiconductor theory. So when this person taught me multi-vibrators, the first class, he just marked a switch on the board. And all of us were engineering students. This is only a switch. Nobody has the courage to tell it. Then he told it's a switch. And then, we know it. Then why you didn't tell it? No, we never thought that you will be showing a switch for us. Then he told us an important concept. If somebody is thirsty, the water should be at a reachable point. It should not go over his head, or he should not walk down around 100 steps like Varanasi. In Varanasi, in all the ghats, you have to walk down around 10 steps, 20 steps, 50 steps, 100 steps, depending on the area where you are staying. That should not be the case. He should be able to take the water in his palms and drink it. And he should enjoy it. So that should be the stream of lecture also. You have a long way to go. You enjoy your lectures. Further define it down. Bring it to the commonness of the common man. You will also enjoy. They will also enjoy. It shouldn't happen a senior sitting that she is not taking my age into account. All that shouldn't happen. You be free, fair. You have done a good job. Your expounding was fantastic. You started with Kadachit Shankaracharya Kashim Pratipuram Yayo Tasya Jnana Parikshartam Kaschid Deva Samagataha. Tasya Jnana Parikshartam, it is not Ishvara. Kaschit, somebody came there. Kaschid Deva Samagataha. Tan Chandala Rupinam Drishtva Gacha Gacheti Chabravit. That was where I followed you. So, it's a very beautiful part. You have done full justice to it. You should elaborate more on the finest points of Advaita Vedanta. Because Manisha Panchaka is a stage where a flower is trying to blossom. It is just a small bud in the starting, stage by stage. As you start pouring water, manure, protecting it, this Manisha Panchaka becomes the marvel of life. It is just not there to show an incident in the life of Shankara. No. The other concept which I would like to tell and complete my assignment given by Madam is, Shankara here defines who should be his guru. It is not only about the concept, about Atman, the Avasthatrayas and etc. Who should be a guru? A person who knows all this has to be my guru. That was why, despite being born in Kaladi, he went up to Narmada Nadi, the banks of Narmada, searched Govinda Bhagavat Pada. And this great Govinda Bhagavat Pada was in Samadhi. And for us, Samadhi always means sitting beneath a tree and doing, no. Samadhi means, now all of us are in Samadhi. Somebody is speaking, somebody is hearing. So the mind is balanced. A state of the mind where it is balanced, is samadhi. Yoga, samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, where the mind is balanced. Every one of us go into samadhi. Nidra samadhi sthitihi. So, samadhi is a state which is achieved by everyone. It is not reserved to anybody. Science points out that even the ant, it also sleeps. It also dreams. Now, how do you find that an ant dreams? That tentacles, they are moving when it is dreaming. When it is asleep, it lies subtle. So, today we have technology which tells whether an ant is dreaming, walking we can see. How to differentiate an ant when it is dreaming and when it is sleeping. So with this technology, these avasthatrayas are there in everybody, including the plants. That is the technology today. This was told by our Upanishad rishis long back. That was only given by a good fabrication by Adi Shankara. Based on what Vedavyasa and Krishna told us. So, with this, I thank Srimati Rupa and Shrikant for providing me an opportunity to listen one more blast. It was a good blast, protected blast. God bless you. Continue in the same way. Thank you all.
ಗುರುಗಳಾದ ವೇದಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀ ಅಮರನಾರಾಯಣ ಶರ್ಮಾರವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಅವರು ನೀಡಿದಂತಹ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಶಾರದೆಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಅವಳು ಮುಂಬರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಮೇ ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ Amaranarayana Guruji to hand over a token of our appreciation for Sharada. Randa. Sir. Sharada ko. Sharada ko. Sir. Sharada ji. ಈ ಸಂಚೆಯ ಮೊತ್ತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. We will just take a 10-minute break to disassemble the stage. ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೊತ್ತು ಶಾರದಾ ಕಳಲೆ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆಲಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಕುಮಾರಿ ಲಾಸ್ಯಪ್ರಿಯ ಆರ್ ಚೆನ್ನೈನ ಕಲಾಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಸಂಗವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವರ ತಾಯಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಲಿನಿ ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ನೃತ್ಯ ಕಲೆಯನ್ನು ಅವರ ಗರಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಳಗಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಲಾಸ್ಯರವರ ಒಂದು ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವನ್ನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡೋಣ. ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಫಿ ಟೀ ತಗೊಳ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಿ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಸದ್ಯದಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿದ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.